So here is the sum of the law of my life. This is just for me. This is what I've come to in the 37 years that I've been on this planet. Do what you want to do. Just be responsible for yourself. And everything is futile. It's futile. Do what you want to do. Just be responsible for yourself. If a person would come to that mind state, and when you say it's futile, futility is not a bad thing. Futility is existence itself. Existence itself is futile. It's the same things over and over again. And this is why I talk about having a craft, having either something to distract yourself or to have something not to distract you at all. See, you can go the opposite direction with this too, because I already did both things. I already went through I don't want to use the word guru, but I already did the thing where some guy goes off in a cave and sits in silence. I didn't go off in a cave myself, but I've already sat in a room with no phone, no TV, nothing at all. The only thing that I had at one time was a drawer next to me that had a full house game or something where you pressed the button and you pressed ace, ace, and then you pressed it again. I forget what it was called. I don't even remember the name of the game because I don't play it anymore. But I would get on there once in a while and do that when I was bored. And besides that, I would just sit in silence, and some people would call it meditating. Some people would call it just being there in the moment and not having anything distract you, not worrying about what's going on out in the real world. I already went through that process too, and I could get back there if I really wanted to. And sometimes I really think of going back to that somewhat, but not full blown, because for me, I need my silence and I need my sound. You see, I need both things for myself. I can't just be in silent mode all day, every day, all the time. Maybe one day I will be, but there's days where I need to hear sound. I need to be doing something with myself, you see, and that's how I always been. I've always been a walking, talking contradiction. And you can't get away from that fact if you're really being honest with yourself. And that's another thing to throw into the law of what I know to be the law of my life, is that it's futile, it's futile. Quit worrying about shit, because worry is just not accepting how things really are in this life. And this is where fear comes from, is worry. This is where stress comes from, is worrying about things. And I understand you can't tell a person, even though I'm saying don't worry, you can't tell a person not to worry, because people are going to worry. You can't tell people don't worry, don't do this. I'm not telling anybody to do or not to do anything on my channel. I'm just literally speaking for myself and venting for myself. And when you realize how futile even words and everything you do is, it's not a bad thing. That's when you go, okay, it's futile, it doesn't matter, so let me do what I want to do and do it responsibly. That's it. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And what I see so much of today is people trying so hard. We try so hard as people to think that we're getting ahead somehow, when there is no such thing as getting ahead. This is why when you talk to somebody, you're not really talking to the person. You're talking to them thinking of the future or the past, or I have to do this thing just because this is what I think I have to do. Now, in order for me to explain that on a video, it's kind of hard. When I'm doing this, I don't have visual representations to show people what I mean when I say these things, to make people understand what I mean. And that's another futile thing. That's another futile thing. Like, you can't really, when we're talking about life, and we're talking about subjective, and we're talking about how people see things, you're really not going to change anybody's mind. You're really not going to. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to make someone maybe see another piece of the puzzle of reality and knowledge and understanding. And the more that they see that, the more that you will come to this thing where it will be a bad thing and a good thing. It's hard to explain. It's really, really hard to explain. But it'll be something where you give up on petty things. You give up on things that are not going to do anything for you in the days to come in your life, or the weeks to come, or the months, or the years to come. You realize, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to force myself to be something I'm not for 5, 10, 15, 20 more years, because it's futile. 20 years from now is going to be now. 20 years from now will still be now. Think if we somehow had a time machine, metaphorically, and we could go 20 years from now, when really 20 years from now does not exist. There's no such thing as 20 years from now. That is, even these people that talk about time and time machines, there is no way that we could ever travel throughout time. It's impossible. I don't care what I don't care if people think like they like the concept of time travel. That's fine. I don't care if people like that. I'm just saying, there is no way that you can be or go anywhere else than right here, than right now. Time travel is impossible. Time travel will never be possible. I don't even think you can go a second in the so-called future or the so-called past. I don't think there's any such thing as that. And see, this seems like scrambled eggs. This seems like I'm throwing just a whole bunch of shit together, but that's what it is. This whole thing is just throwing a bunch of shit together and mixing it up in futility. That's all it is. That's all music is. That's all writing is. That's all when you go to work every day is. When you eat food is. When you drink your cup of coffee is. It's all a futile thing. And this is why I keep telling people, find a craft, find something that you like doing while you're here, because it's going to be the only thing at the end of the day to fall back on. There's nothing going on out here, y'all. What do we think that is so special going on in this world right now? What? And see, I'm saying this to get us to start thinking about things that, and not even necessarily thinking, just saying, well, okay, I'm going to be here for some time. So what is it that I can do with myself in this little bit of time that I have here on this planet? And you know what? I will be so honest as to say, do you know what my thought is with this? Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I trust that when I do die, there's either going to be something that has me and got me, or there's going to be something that doesn't got me. I have no control over it either way. Whether you think that somehow this goes on, or somehow our energy or our memories and thoughts and personality goes on. Listen, I'm not getting into that debate because that's futile too. We can all sit here and we can say everybody has an opinion and view on that. But give up on the control of it, trying to control. See, this is where worry comes from. People that think there might be something more, we're constantly worrying, and it's not always a bad thing to worry, because some people that do worry, they are kind people. They are people that will give when it's needed to give. They will not act out in an irrational way because they think that there is consequences for things. And there is consequences for things in this life. There is consequences for things. Every action, there's a consequence. And you can't get away from that. But the whole thing with there's a lot of us out here, we think about, will I go on or will I not go on? Is this life, is there some purpose or meaning here, or is it just for nothing? See, I would actually go far as to say, if you are not confused by all of this, see, people would say if you're confused, that's a bad thing. You're a confused person. No. If you're confused about all of this and you say I don't know, that means that you are an honest person that is being honest with yourself. That means you are a person that is observing stuff and you're taking an honest look at it and you're breaking it down for yourself. And you're saying, okay, well, this doesn't work for me, so what else can work for me while I still do have my health and while I still am living? See, it's always this next approach, this next thing, this, okay, I don't like this, so it's time to change this. See, we're so scared of change. We're so scared to let something die, to let something go. We're terrified to let go of identity, or to let go of what we think that we are, because we think that we are that thing so much and we hold on to that so much. And that is what is causing so many of our issues and our problems and our stress, is because we worry about holding on to this thing. We worry about, I gotta be this way today when I go out my door. As soon as I walk out the door, I have to smile when I don't want to smile. Right when I walk out of the door, I have to say certain things that I really don't want to say, but I think I have to say it because that's the social structure of our world. And I know we do these things. I know we do these things. We're not going to stop doing these things because nobody's really, 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 really going to change the perception of how we are in this world and some of the things we do, because people don't think we have to. See, people don't think we have to do any of this. And that's why we don't do any of that. And that's why we stay stuck in these realms of monotony. And even though things are monotonous, it doesn't mean that we have to do something all the time that we don't necessarily want to do, but we do it for other people. And it all comes to the thought or thinking or the realization that this is completely futile. This is completely futile. It's so absurd and it's so repetitive that you get to this point where you go, there is nothing else to do but for me to, okay, if I'm going to be doing something repetitive, let me do something to where the repetitive thing is doing something that I can make an honest living off of, that I like doing. And I know that I've been talking about this lately, but this is what I have to think about, because that's where I'm at right now in my life. That is the point to where I'm at right now. I can't try to be what I was before, or try to be something else that I'm really not in this moment. And this video, if somebody watches this video 20 years from now, if I watch this video 20 years from now and I look at myself, I will still be doing most of the same things, but not the same exact thing. I'll be doing all the futile things, eating every day. But see, just because eating is futile, it doesn't mean that you can't become a chef and make great food for yourself and other people. See, use this as a tool. Use futility. Use meaningless. Use pointlessness. Use, if you're someone that says this is absurd, use that as a tool. Put that in your writing. Put that in your art. Put that in your craft. Put that in your life. Put that in when you talk. Because why are we trying so hard? Why are we holding on so tight when we know that we have to let go? There's going to be a time where we are going to lose the battle of life. There is going to be a time where we are not going to have a say over what really happens, and there's no controlling it. And it's a scary thing. Yes, it is. It's a scary thing. I admit it. It's a scary thing not thinking you have control over something. But wanting to have control over people, places, and things, that is all just more worry. It's more baggage. It's more trying. It's more ambition to be more than other people. And all we're doing is we're putting stress and strain. Why do you think people are so depressed today, so anxious today? Me versus you today. Just look on the internet. I mean, just go on YouTube. Just go on wherever you go and look at what they're talking about. Just look at what they're saying and what they're talking about. Everybody's trying to tell you how to be yourself today. I'm not telling anybody how to be. I'm just speaking the facts of reality. And it doesn't mean you have to get caught in the whirlwind of staying stuck there. It's just realizing it for what it is and then saying, okay, now what? Now what am I doing? Now what am I doing today? And that's all that matters. It's futile, so do what you want to do. Find something you love doing today. Screw everything else. It doesn't matter what anybody says or what anybody thinks or what anybody says for you, because this is what a lot of people attempt to do. They try to say things for you instead of listening to you, instead of telling you what's going on in their life. It's always, let me tell you something for yourself. And this is what you hear all over the place. It's everybody trying to tell you how to be. If you just keep practicing this one spiritual thing or these couple spiritual things, you'll eventually get there. You'll be enlightened one day. And listen, do you want to know what if the word enlightenment means anything? Do you want to know what the word enlightenment means? Take a second to think about this when I take a sip of my coffee here. Do you want to know what that word actually means? And very few people ever get to this point because they're still chasing. They're still after a ghost. They're still seeking the thing that doesn't exist. And I'm telling you, you're going to get let down hard if you're doing this. You're going to be very disappointed. It's going to be something where it's going to cause depression. It's going to get you to a place where you go, my goodness gracious, I was chasing a ghost my whole life. I was ambitious for other people, trying to be something for them when they never even cared anyway. But do you know what enlightenment means, if anything? Enlightenment means that you understand that there is no such thing as enlightenment. Enlightenment is knowing that there is no such thing as enlightenment. That's an enlightened person. That is a person that is one of the 10 fingers of this world that says there is no such thing as this. It's all a concept. It's all concepts and beliefs and things that we do. And look, I know there's a lot of people that do this stuff. And it's very misunderstood what that means, what that truly means for an individual. And I don't believe in enlightenment. I don't believe in any such thing as enlightenment. I think that there is knowledge, there is knowing things, there is realizing things, there are experiences, there are happenings, there is morally bad, wrong, and morally right, and morally just. There is no future, no past, only now, right now in the present moment. And that's all we're ever going to have. And seeking that thing, seeking this thing that people are telling you, seeking all of this absurdity that people are telling you, it's extra effort on your behalf. It's you straining yourself, straining and straining and trying and trying and attempting and attempting and seeking and seeking. And I know because I did this tirelessly. I did this obsessively. I listen, if you could only know how obsessive compulsive I am with the things that I do that I don't even show on this channel in my spare time when I do the things that I do. I am very meticulous. I'm obsessive. I'm a perfectionist, but I'm imperfect. I am an imperfect perfectionist, if that makes sense. See, I am literally the epitome of contradiction, and contradiction is the truth. Yin yang is the truth. Realizing these things is the way, the truth, and the life, in my opinion. And this is why whether or not Jesus Christ was a reality or not, or whether or not Jesus Christ really existed, I'm just giving an example of what Jesus Christ said in the book of the Bible. He said, the world will hate you. The world will hate you for being honest. Now, it doesn't exactly say that. That's not what the scripture exactly says. But it says it will hate you for the truth. It will hate you. It will despise you for the truth. And what that means is, it means that when you get so honest with yourself, and that person does not want to be honest with themselves, and they don't want to get real with reality, and they don't want to accept things, and they're still running or seeking or chasing or trying, they're going to hate you for telling them that they're chasing a ghost. They're after a ghost. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to apply that extra pressure on your life. You don't have to try to be something you're not for other people. You're wasting your energy. That's not your real energy. You're wasting your effort. You're wasting every second of your life trying to be something for other people. And if we cannot come to that understanding, then our understanding is going to be that of every day we're putting up this thing for other people, and all we're doing is we're forcing ourselves. We're trying to be, we're attempting to do things that are unnecessary. They're unnecessary for us. Simply find something you like and enjoy and do that thing. Do it as much as you possibly can. And when you're bored, then be bored. Be bored. Sit in silence and be bored. Force yourself to sit for once in your life without the phone or without a distraction. Do that once and just sit there for a half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and see what happens. Because other people, we're so worried about what the world's doing. We're chasing things, and we're so worried about futility. We're trying to control futility here. And yes, needs are important while we're living. That's the most important thing, is needs, because without needs, we can't live. But even that's futile. But we need needs while we're alive. It's just that plain and simple. I mean, this is, like I said, this is common sense stuff. But why I am speaking, why I am doing a video, why I am talking to people is because when you are done trying, you are done lying to yourself. When you are done attempting, you are relinquishing the ability to have control over something. When you stop putting in this unnecessary effort to try to reach something that does not exist, then you're not putting stress and strain on yourself anymore. It doesn't mean that you can't do what you want to do. That's what I'm getting at in this video, is do what the heck you want to do. Just do it responsibly. That's it. It's that easy. That is the law of existence, is that it's futile. Do what you want, but do it responsibly. Don't hurt other people. Don't kill other people. Don't rape anybody. Don't pillage anybody. Don't steal something from somebody else. Get it on your own. Make something of yourself for yourself and do that thing. And if you do that, you don't have to feel guilty about anything. If you discipline yourself, then you don't have to worry about what another person's doing, because more than likely they're not doing that thing anyway. So what's the point? It's futile. You're right back to yourself anyway. So when I'm looking in this phone, I'm looking like, if I watch this 20 years from now and I'm looking at myself, things are going to happen in that time frame, yes. In those moments, that time reel thing that really doesn't exist, but we think it does, but it's actually just always right now. It's always, 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 always now. Do you ever go back to a video that you did a long time ago and you're like, damn, it literally feels like I just did that? It's because you literally did just do that. See, we think we have a concept of time, but it's all just now. It's all just right now. And when you can accept now and say it's right now and nothing else matters but now. Nothing matters but right now. The future's futile. The past is futile. All that I got is now. So What do I want to do with my life right now? If I'm miserable or depressed, what do I have to do so that I'm not that way? Because otherwise, you're just going to sit and wallow in it. You're going to sit and wallow in your own filth like a pig does, and you're going to stay in the filth, and you're going to keep complaining about the filth. That's just the truth. That's just the truth of how it is. And this is why when you say these things as a person, the world will hate and despise, and they'll be offended by you because they know that they're doing that. And if they do that, listen, I don't care. I don't care if people do that. They have every right to sit in their own filth. It's not my life. It's not my body. It's not going to be the consequences of what happens for me. And even me saying that, there's really no point of me even saying that, because you just see how you really can't do anything for anyone here. You really, really can't really do anything at all. It's all out of our control. Everything's out of our control. It's futile. It's, yes, in the end, more than likely, it's pointless, but it doesn't mean that life has to be pointless right now, that that everything has to be miserable, that everything has to suck. It's all perception. It's just all how you see it. And yes, there are days like that, but getting stuck there is very easy to do. It's very easy to get stuck in that frame of mind where you keep repeating it in your head over and over and over again. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. Okay, it sucks. So what do I do so that it doesn't suck so bad? And that's the thing you get to. That's all there is. It's just on to the next now. On to the next now. I'm up. I have to go to work in a couple hours. Do I really want to go into work? No, I don't want to go into work. Is it so overbearing that it's going to make me a certain way right now? No, it's not overbearing right now, but I have this coffee next to me that I'm going to drink so that I can get going and moving. That's my next move. And then my next move is to get ready. My next move is to maybe eat some honey gluten-free bread. And that's what I'm going to do. That's all there is to do right now. And then it's on to researching something online, or watching some kind of philosophical video, or something with music or whatever. And that's what I'm going to do, because that's there for me to do. Basically, let me say it like this. There is one of two choices always, and we're always going to be contradicting ourselves. Life is always going to be a contradiction, a roller coaster ride of up and downs. You're either going to sit in silence, or you're going to be making noise, and you're going to be listening to something, watching something, hearing something, feeling something. Balance that thing out. See, a lot of us, we have no balance. We have no discipline with those things. And that's why we get to a point where we get stuck, because we're not disciplined in our balance, if that makes sense. We're not disciplined in our contradictions. We're contradicting, but we're not disciplined. And we get too much on the one side, and the one side gets so heavy, and then the other side lifts up, and then we're chasing the one side because we're down. So we have to chase this to get back up. This is everything in life that we do. Everything that we life and in life that we do. Don't have to get caught up. Realize these things. Sit by yourself and go over this and reflect on yourself with it, you know? I can't tell anybody how to do that, though. I can't tell anybody how to go about doing it it's an everyday thing. It's a just for today thing. That's what it means. The one thing that I do agree with NA and AA is when they say just for today. I agree with that. I believe in that concept, just for today, because that's all we have is right now, today. That's all we have, y'all, is right now, today. And we're on borrowed time here. We're all on borrowed time. The person that is old right now, that is really, that is in their older age, they're no different from you and I. The person that is 2 years old, they're no different from you and I. They're on borrowed time just as much as me, just as much as them, just as much as anyone in the world. We're all on borrowed time here. And whether you think there is something or isn't something after this, it doesn't matter. It's out of your control. It's out of my control. We have no control over any of this stuff. And letting go of control for us is letting go of our pride to try to make it something that it really isn't anyway. So that's why I say let it go and let it die and keep moving on. Keep moving on to the next thing. Because people are always going to be going. People are always going to be dying. People are always going to be disagreeing and going off to different places. You can't stop this. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Even people that are on my platform, do you think we're going to be here forever? You're not going to be here forever. More than likely, you're not even here anymore. Those of you who are, you will be here for some nows. Now, and then there will be a time where you're not going to need to hear me anymore. You're going to say, okay, well, what's he been up to? And then you might come back to my channel and listen, and it's just how it is, It's accepting reality and just saying this is how it is. And why stress about the nonsense and the extra stuff and chasing a ghost of trying to be something for people and thinking that you're going to reach some point of enlightenment, or the spiritual gurus telling you if you keep doing this thing, if you keep reading my book, if you keep getting this item, that this will do something. It's absurdism. It's absurdity. And I'm not saying that I don't look into things for myself and I don't do things for myself, but I never go by anything religiously. I never have a set plan for everything because I know things are not going to go that way. They're not going to go that way. I don't expect everything to go right because some things are going to go wrong. See, but there will be people that will tell you that they will either be these motivational people that say, you got to keep telling yourself that thing and it will happen. Yes, if you keep telling yourself something over and over again, you're going to believe it. And you might do that thing. That's all that the whole thing with affirmation, affirming something in your mind. Yes, that's true. If you keep affirming something and you keep saying, I will, then more than likely you're going to eventually do that. If you keep saying, I won't, I can't, then you're not going to do that thing because you keep telling yourself this all the time, repetitively, over and over. And then the way you think is the way that you act. The way you think is the way you live. The way a man thinks, so he thinketh, so he doeth. And sometimes we lose sight of common sense. We lose traction of normality, but not conforming to the nonsense of normality. And I'm not getting anywhere. Am I getting anywhere doing this video? Am I becoming enlightened by doing this video? Am I becoming more than you that's watching? Am I getting ahead of you, the person watching? See, that's where it's at. It's not up here and it's not down here, is where it's at. It's here, is where it's at. It's here is where it's at. It's understanding that everything's a contradiction and we're the seesaw. I gotta be something for people. I didn't do enough. I can be enlightened like them. This isn't working for me. I gotta do this today for them. I gotta try to be something. I'm getting tired of this. And it just keeps going and going and going. Give up. Let it go. Move on. Let the thing die. Let it die. Be a metamorphosis every day of your life. Be a metamorphosis. Start thinking metamorphosis in your mind. Renew your mind every single moment. Think of renewal, renewal, renewal. But at the same time, realize the futility, the absurdity, the monotony, okay, it really doesn't matter, but it means something right now for me that I'm doing it. That's it. And with that thought, metamorphosis, renewing the mind, it's all futile, but I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it responsibly and with discipline and respect for myself. And that is a person's dignity. That is your dignity in life. That is your honesty in life, and that is all that matters here for us. That is all that matters for us. If you're anything similar to me, that's all that matters, is that you're honest with yourself and that you're thinking of, okay, well, what do I have to do until I can't do it anymore, in a way where I'm not hurting others or myself, but I'm doing something that in time when it's needed for someone, that a need can be provided. And I know some people even say needs don't matter. Needs are pointless. Needs are futile. And yeah, they are. They are too, but it's either suicide or live. It's either die or live. It's either be depressed and hate everything or live. I mean, it can't be anything else. It just can't be anything else. For me, it can't be anything else. And this video is absolutely futile. It's absolutely futile. And I've come to accept that. I come to accept that fact that me looking in the mirror at myself, this is futile. This is futility. Yeah, I think that I am a handsome guy. I think I'm handsome. That's what I project onto myself. What another person thinks, they have every right to think, but yet I don't care what anybody else or the world thinks about me anymore, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think of you either. It doesn't matter if I think you are beautiful or ugly. It doesn't matter if I think that you should believe in something or not believe in something. It doesn't matter if I say, why do you do that or why don't you do that? None of that matters for you from me. I don't need to say anything for you, and you don't need to say anything for me. We need to speak for ourselves. We need to start speaking for ourselves here. And then this is when I think life will be more open and honest. It will be flowetry instead of a stone wall, instead of a smoke screen, instead of a wall that we're looking at trying to look past. You see, I don't have it in me to do that anymore. I don't have it in me to live that way anymore. And I won't live that way. I will not live that way. I refuse to live that way because I can't live with myself anyway, being fake with myself. I can't do it. I can't lie to other people. I just can't do it. There was a question that someone asked Jordan Peterson, when was the last time you lied? And he said, everybody lies. No, no, not everybody. I'm not lying. I don't lie. I don't remember the last time I said a lie. I don't remember the last time that I lied to somebody. I honestly don't know the last time I lied to somebody. And I can say that truthfully. I can say that truthfully without any shame looking in the camera at myself. Did somebody ask me one day, how am I doing? I don't see that as a lie. And I said something like, instead of saying, well, I don't feel too good right now physically, I said something like, it could be better. So basically, I was telling the truth. I was saying, I don't feel good, I could be better. I just didn't tell them that because they don't need to know that. It's not a lie, though. You know, it's not a lie that you didn't say the thought that you thought of and you didn't say it to them. It's just the fact that you said it in a different way. You see, this is a prime example of how much we lie to ourselves every day. The top professor that everybody listens to will listen to that and will say, oh, I lie every day too, and I lie to myself all the time too. And they'll just think that's just completely fine, that I lie all the time, that I lie to myself. And then we keep lying to ourselves and lying to ourselves and putting on for people. And it's so fake. It's such a fake realm that it's... And then when you say this, you're literally in a field on your own, being honest with yourself, kind of looking at yourself. And you realize you can't do anything about it. I'm the only one that can do something about it, but you realize you can't do anything about it in terms of making another person see it or to reflect it upon themselves. And you say, well, damn, it's me here doing this. It's me here doing this with me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it would be really nice. It would be really, really nice to come across when I'm watching something or I'm out in the world. It would be so refreshing to come across someone that is just being honest. That when they say what they say, it's something right to the point. Oh my gosh, did he say that? See, right when you're in public or you're around other people and you will say something that you really meant, people will look like, or they won't say anything, but they'll be thinking, you can't say that around these people. Why? Why can't you? Why can't you? Why can't you be angry if you're angry? There's nothing wrong with being angry. Anger is actually a great tool to be used in this world, but most people use their anger for stupid, dumb, violent things. I'm angry a lot. I'm angry a lot of the times because you will be angry if you're an honest person and you're looking at this world honestly and you see the things people do. You will be angry at things, let me tell you. But if we can control that anger and we can use that anger as a tool, anger can be used for damn near everything. It's energy. Anger is energy to be used. That's all it is. Anger is just a response to something. It's an opposite response. When someone on the road is cutting people off, you get angry because you're saying this asshole idiot is going to kill somebody, or he's being an ignorant, inconsiderate fool. That's anger. That's an opposite response to the thing he's doing that I'm not going to do, but I see that they're doing. So there's the opposition going on. There's the contradiction going on. And as long as that guy cutting people off, as long as the ignoramus, as long as the foolish person does not understand that he and she is a hypocrite, is a contrarian, is yin and yang, is opposition, is an irony, is a conundrum, is a paradox in and of itself, then it's going to be this thing where the scale, the one side is too heavy and the other side's light. The one side's down, the other side's up. And that's where we get this me versus you, me comparing myself to other people. I know that I've been saying this a lot, y'all, and I know a lot of you, I honestly don't even know how people are still around watching my videos, if I'm being honest. And I do appreciate that people are here. I really do. Because when we say that we don't need people, that's bullshit. We do need people, but it doesn't mean that we need to associate with other people. But we do need other people. When you go to the store, you need that worker, the person that brought the food in the truck, the person that planted the food. You need that person. When you go to your bank account, you need that person that's controlling that to get the money. When your car breaks down, you need a mechanic that you don't know. So we do need people. We just don't have to get involved with or associate with other people personally. We don't have to get involved with the baggage of their life. We don't have to associate with anything we don't want to associate with. That's our choice to do. And that's how I am as a person. I know that I need people. I know that I need help sometimes. I know that I need to reach out for certain things. But it doesn't mean that I associate myself or I get attached to those things. This is what I said if you watched my last video, but that's not, I don't think a lot of people like that video. It was too long and I didn't want to make it that long. And I did a couple videos in a row, so I understand. You know, you get tired of hearing people. You get tired. That's repetitive. You see what I'm saying? The more videos you upload, well, you're like, okay, I heard you talking. How much more of this can I hear? And you do. We do. We get tired. We get sick and tired of each other. There's days where, I won't lie, I get tired of even looking at myself. Even, I don't hate my own company, but even sometimes I get tired of myself some days. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm tired of me today. Let me alone and just look at something else. But a lot of what I'm looking at, I'm really not interested in anymore, if I'm being honest. So that's why I'm always self-reflecting. Even when I do get sick and tired of things, I'm still self-reflecting. I'm still observing myself. I'm still asking things and researching and obsessively, compulsively thinking and saying, okay, well, what if I did this or didn't do this? Is there any way that if this thing doesn't work in some time that I can do something else? Should I be a doctor? Should I be a medicinal person? Should I be someone that studies cancers? Should I be someone that helps to build architecture? Should I be someone that looks for other people that are in a studio that I can be a part of? These are things I really want to do, that I'm really interested in, but it's too much to focus on at one time for me. I can't have too many things on my mind at once. It's too much for my brain. But anyway, I'm going on and on here. I didn't want to do this long of a video either, but this is what happens, when I get into the things I'm talking about. I think it takes a while for this to seep into the parts of our brains that most people do not talk about. And if you would just have the patience to hear me out, if you would just stick around for a little bit longer sometimes and let me get to what I'm saying. Because most of the time in the beginning of the videos, if we get bored with something, we're like, I don't want to watch it anymore. You see, right when we lose our attention to something, we're like, I'm done with this. There are times where I force myself to listen to things where I'm like, okay, this is bored. I'm not really into this. And I do that a lot. And what I notice is when I do that, sometimes I will miss something that I never knew, all because I was in a rush, or I lost my attention, or I said, oh, this is boring, and I didn't give it a chance. You see, I didn't give it some time to actually listen to it. But yeah, y'all, all we have is now. It's futile. Do what you want to do it responsible. All right, later. Thanks for the support. Thanks for anything on the channel. I appreciate it. Like I said, I do not, people that come on my platform need to understand this, that watch my videos. I do not associate with other people on the internet. I read comments and I hear what people are doing. I acknowledge things, but I don't get involved with the internet gossip or the internet talk that goes on, or people's personal stuff. I just don't allow myself to get involved with that stuff. And there's a reason why I don't, because I know the things that come about from those things, and I make the choice to not do it. So I do acknowledge the fact that when people do donate, I do acknowledge the fact that when people comment or something, but really that's all up to you to self-reflect on yourself. You know what I mean? That's not for me to have an answer for you. I don't have an answer for you. I don't have a solution for you. I'm just telling you what I know for myself. That's it. So I wanted to get more into saying a couple things before I go along in this channel, but you have to understand that I do not work well with other people. Me and other people just do not. We're like oil and water, the way we think and the way we live, and it's just the way that it is. It isn't that I want to hate people, though. It isn't that I just automatically hate people. I give everybody a chance. I treat everybody fairly and justly. But when I see the things that I see every day, and I still see, I have a very misanthropic side with things, because you just have to be me to understand what I mean by this. I do not associate myself with people, because the world just brings too much shit with it. It's too much for me to handle as a person. That's why I stay behind the scenes, and that's the way that I like it. I like being behind the scenes, like a Scott Storch kind of guy, but that's just for me. So thanks for listening, but actually, thank yourself for listening. It isn't even that I got to thank you. Thank yourself for reflecting on yourself, but don't be cocky about it. Don't be, don't be so bold and boastful and cocky about it. But I think that the only thing that we have really too is self-reflection. Self-reflection is something that the honest person does. You see what I'm saying? Most of the time, people that are projecting things are the ones that are hiding something, or are not being honest, or are putting on all this thing for the world. That's just how it is. But it doesn't mean that in our self-reflection, we have to completely void ourselves or disclude ourselves or block ourselves or go and isolate and wither away and hate the world and everybody. It doesn't mean that we have to do that either. See, you got to understand, I am a contradiction. I am an opposition of everything. I am not good and I am not bad. I am not righteous and I am not a wicked man either. I'm somewhere in between all of this, in not in limbo, but I'm in between there, roaming and lurking and observing and seeing all of it for what it is. And that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't know. Sometimes you get to a point where you say, okay, there's nothing more to do or say, and now I sit. Now I observe. Now it's on to the cup of coffee next to me. So with that, later on, y'all.